A day is made by his grand design. So fill up your cup as you listen in. Wake up in the morning with Shelly on WAPN. On WAPN. On WAPN.
Good Friday morning. How are you this morning? I am great and ready to take on today. So thankful, even though it's not Thankful Thursday, but I got so much done yesterday. Actually, everything done I needed to get done. God just kept multiplying my time. I love it when you have a plan and a setup and God says, let me just help you through that day. Let me just do this for you. And I feel like that's what happened yesterday. Every time I turned around, it just worked out that I had perfect timing, got it done, was able to take care of some extra stuff, and here I am starting Friday off in good shape. I like to be ahead on Friday because Friday is the cleanup day around here. I like to clean up the station, get it all nice and clean for the weekend, restock everything and all that. But sometimes Friday is also get her done. So that's kind of a combination. But I was able to, last night when I was in here with National Day of Prayer, I was getting other stuff done. And we have a super busy weekend coming up. My daughter's got a huge wedding tomorrow, and I'll be one of the delivery drivers. And so, which I don't mind at all, going to do that. And then on Sunday, we'll be slinging flowers at Calvary Christian Center in the foyer at 10:30 a.m., which is always a fun event. Serving the kids and their husbands and all that, getting the flowers. I just really enjoy that, watching them pick them and tell us a story. I think one of my favorite times with flowers and Mother's Day was when Bonnie first started a few years ago. She was doing DoorDash deliveries, or is it DoorDash or whatever it is? But anyways, the delivery guy kept coming back and back to take more flowers. And he said he lost his mom. And this is a way of him, celebrating Mother's Day, would be delivering them to all the other mothers. And that really took heart in my heart and made me realize I was blessed to have an amazing mom all those years. And now I like to serve other moms. So it's just something that was very special. So I appreciate that. Now, yesterday, like I said, day was crazy great. And in the middle of the crazy great day, I was able to attend a funeral. And that funeral spoke volumes to me. Let me just tell you. First of all, how many people showed up. That was just amazing for a young girl, 34 years old on the earth, and how many people showed up to support her and her family. And I loved it that the family spoke. I don't know how many of you have ever lost a loved one. That is a very hard thing to do. You can put it all down. You can write it all down. It doesn't come out the way you want it to come out. You don't know if you should tell a funny story. You don't know if you should cry. It's just a hard, hard, hard moment. The family got up there, and they did tell some funny stories, which I really appreciate. And then the dad got up there, Daddy. And he got up there, and he talked about the phone call that he had received yesterday morning. His daughter was a donor, and he got the phone call that morning that her eyes were being donated to somebody else. That just touched my heart huge, because my dad's eyes somebody has. And I always say I would love it if I would get to meet that person. Because my dad was a funny man. He, when you were in trouble, he would take his glasses and pop them way down to the bottom of his nose and just look over his glasses. And you knew, oh my goodness, something's going on and I'm going to get in trouble or something, or it's serious or whatever. And so I always said I would love to get to see his eyes again. And so yesterday, when the dad was talking about his daughter's eyes, somebody seeing the world through his daughter's eyes, it just touched my heart. And then he talked about glasses. And this was like another touching moment in my life. And so thankful that I attended, and so thankful that he shared from his heart. He talked about that wearing glasses is not fun. They're not fashionable. They're uncomfortable. They're not something that we want to do. It's not like a cool thing when people wear glasses. But what it is for is so that we can see you. And that brought back another memory for me. This one is still alive, but my daughter, when she was little, had major surgery and then had to wear very thick glasses. And kids were rude and they were mean. And the teacher brought her right up front of everybody and said, she can now see you because she's wearing these. And I thought, yes, that's exactly what it is. It's just so that we can see you. And so I just thought about eyes and glasses and how amazing that was yesterday for that dad to talk about that. And I'm so thankful that I had that opportunity to hear those two things. You never know why God is putting you in a place or sending you somewhere or having you do something. He's always got a setup and plan. Sometimes we miss it. I just want to let you know, sometimes we miss it because of our schedule or we've got this going on. I mean, I literally got to the funeral exactly when it was starting. That's just how crazy it was. The traffic was unbelievable. At one moment, I was like, this traffic is crazy. And then I was like, nope, I'm pushing through. Had to park a mile away. That's okay. Good exercise. So no chairs. That's okay. I could stand. Then they got me a chair. But God. What do you need to do to stop doing? How do I word this? What do you need to do that keeps you pushing forward instead of slowing you down, I guess is the best way to put it. You could look at your schedule today and you could say, there's just no way I'm going to get it all done. Or you could look at your schedule today and say, God, you've got this. You are going to make a way for everything to play out and I get it done. And that's kind of the difference in how I look at a day. Yes, I do overbook. I'm not going to tell you I don't because I'm queen of overbooking. But I'm also learning during my overbook to have boundaries. And that is something I was never, ever really good at, was boundaries. No, I would just, always let you, say, well, this has happened, and so I have to change it. No, I am now a boundary kind of girl, which God has done. And so something my dad taught me was about timing. And, when you're in radio, everything is about the timing. Everything in your life is timing. And sometimes the timing is off because of other situations. And I've had to learn to say, I'm sorry, you were allotted that, and I have to move on. And I have got really good at that with God's grace. And I mean God's grace, because not everybody is a radio girl. Not everybody lives life in a timer. Not everybody thinks about station IDs and all those things. And so I really appreciate that God has helped me about timing and boundaries. And so now when I'm overbooking, because I'm going to do it, let's get real. That is me. I'm going to overbook it. I'm going to allow God to lead the day. And that's what I did yesterday. Even though I was overbooked and it was going to be a tight day, I did find time in there, about 30-ish, 40-ish, whatever minutes it was, to float in a pool. I needed that. I needed to just float in a pool. And, maybe people go, well, how did you figure that out? Because instead of eating or instead of whatevering, I'm going to do that. And I'm learning that God wants us to have those moments of downtime also. He wants us to show up. He wants us to be refreshed. He wants us to be ready. He wants to do it in quality. Quantity isn't as important as quality. And that's another thing he's teaching me. I used to think, well, I've got to take care of it and I've got to do it no matter what. And God's like, no, you're to a new level. I'm taking you to a new level. And the only way I can take you to a new level is if you do have boundaries and if you do have quality and not quantity. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm listening. And then yesterday he showed me all that in one day. All the things that I've been praying for, all the things that I've been critiquing, all the things he's been working on me with. He showed me in one day. He said, allow me to lead you. Allow me to guide you, and I will work it out. So I did. And when I got home last night, I said, okay, that was a good day. I looked back at the day and said, but God. Are you allowing God to lead today, or are you micromanaging it? Now, if you know me, I'm a micromanager. I am, but I'm not going to micromanage what God is doing. I'm just not. I might micromanage WAPN. I might micromanage my life. I might micromanage some other stuff, but I am not going to micromanage what God is doing. If he's in it, and he is, then you need to participate, and you need to be bold, and you need to listen, and you need to say, okay, my yes is my yes, and my no is my no. My time is important. The quality of what I do is important. It's not, I'm a numbers girl. If you know me, I love numbers. I love information. I love statistics. I'm just that kind of person that likes the analytics of everything. I want to know, okay? Well, being an owner of a nonprofit Christian radio station, I don't get those Nielsen ratings or whatever. Now, I could pay for that, lots and lots and lots of money. But what's the difference? I mean, I always feel like when I was that middle-aged person with, 3 kids, so many I never got that call. So who are they calling? So I don't do those ratings. I do it different ways to know who's listening, who's doing. And sometimes when I get like overwhelmed or discouraged, I always ask God, just show me. Just show me. So yesterday, it was busy, like I said, and this morning I was checking the messages, and there was a lot of them because I was a little bit busy yesterday. And one of the messages was about somebody that called about a song. And I love that because we have software that I could go back and find that song. Every time I have to do that, I just thank the Lord for the software. I thank the Lord for the ability to do the programming. I thank the Lord for the different things. And so I was looking up this song, and it is from our new rock show. And I was like, look at how good God is. Now, it wasn't on the timing of the rock show. It was in the regular programming. And I loved it. And I will call that person back or have Jeff call that person back today. But I was like, thank you, God. Because, when you do something new and you do it out of the ordinary and you change up the format and you do all the things, now and then God will show you, I'm doing exactly what I need you to do. You're doing it. You're doing exactly what you need to do. Keep doing it. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Keep doing it. So as you start this Friday, going into this Mother's Day weekend, and if you're blessed to have a mom, make sure you treat her well. Take her to lunch, dinner, whatever. If you're local, do whatever. And really enjoy your mom, because like that, she might not be here. So enjoy your mother. And as you go into this weekend, remember people that have lost their mom, or maybe it's still raw to them. Be considerate of their feelings. That's something that I have learned over the years. People will say a one-liner, and I know they don't mean to be rude, but they are. And so as you're going into this weekend, be kind. And be thankful and courteous as you're going into this weekend. But let's get our favor on. Let's get this day going. I am excited to clean the station, All Things Radio, get everything ready, get my day going, get some relaxing in before the weekend starts. And let's do this. Let's just do this. So as we're going in, God is working out everything for your good. No matter what does or doesn't happen, just keep believing for the favor of God in your life. I have the favor of God around everything. He just does it. He makes a way in traffic. He figures out my day. He does all things. And I'm so thankful for all that. And last night I cruised by the house and my husband had my dinner waiting, and it was so yummy. I'm very thankful for Tim and all the things he does. I know I'm not sometimes good about thanking him just because, you take it for granted, but I'm very thankful for all the things that my husband does and how he helps run my life. And I appreciate how he helps run it and keeps me fed and makes sure I get sleep and takes care of this and takes care of that. So make sure to thank the person that keeps everything going for you. Well, it is Friday, May 8th, 2026. The weather 85 today. Y'all, it was hot yesterday with a heat index of triple digits. So, hydrate. Madison 85 with a low of 70. If it's your birthday today, we got all kinds of birthdays today and over the weekend. Angie and Kim and Lee and Tracy and Stephanie and Stephen and Ned and Eric and Seth and Michael and everybody else celebrating a birthday or anniversary this weekend. Happy. Today is Knockout Roses Day. I used to have rose bushes all the way across my house. My husband's like, if you want them, you're going to take care of them. Started out strong. Did not finish strong. I do not have roses anymore. If you're going to do something, you got to do it. My husband's very good about allowing things at the yard. The yard's his zone. But if I don't take care of it, it's out of here. Remember to like, follow, and share. Go to our different pages, like, follow, and share us, and talk about what's going on in the neighborhood. And tomorrow is the mail people's food drive. So you get a bag, you put non-perishable, non-expired food in it, you set it by your mailbox, and they're donating it back into local businesses here in our town. So do that tomorrow. It's the normal food drive for the mail carriers. So please take care of that. Rockville is in town. So we have hundreds of thousands of extra people in town right now. So plan accordingly. But if you're not going to Rockville, we got Jesus Rock on WAPN. Yes, we do. Nightly at 6 to 7 p.m. When the preaching stops, the Jesus Rock begins. And then we have some rock mixed in all around the times. So listen in. Let us know where you listen, how you listen. This is a new adventure on WAPN. You know, checking it out, figuring it out, doing all the things. So listen in to Jesus Rock, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on WAPN 91.5 FM. All the outlets as far as our second radio station, streaming, our app, all the fun stuff. Jesus Rock right here on WAPN. Well, happy weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas. Y'all have a wonderful, great